I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're uncovering the intimate, untold story of one of history's greatest pianists. We are looking at a wonderful book. It is called My Private Relationship with Van Cliburn. Author Christine Rakela takes us behind the scenes of the classical music legend's life, revealing personal struggles, triumphs, and the wisdom he shared with those closest to him. This deeply personal account provides a rare glimpse into Clyburn's world, his rise to fame, the jealousy, and the loss he faced as well as his unshakable passion for music. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app, streaming on Roku, Amazon TV, and Apple TV as well. Christine, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good to be here.
Good to be here. Why did you decide to share the story of your relationship with Van Cliburn?
Well, that's a good question. First off is why did I write the book? And actually,
Basically, yeah.
Van was going to be writing a book. And we talked about this. I was hoping that I would write it along with him.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So that didn't happen.
Mhm.
And then I thought, gee, there are all these wonderful stories that he told me, and quotes of his that I thought people would really enjoy and benefit from. So I decided to piece together a book. Mhm.
Wonderful. Well, we're glad you did because it is so insightful, and many people do have lots of questions and lots of interest in this wonderful talent. How did your relationship with him begin?
Well, it actually started from two clients of mine who knew Van Cliburn. And after his mother passed away, who was his advisor and manager, he was looking for someone to, advise him and
Mhm.
give him some guidance. And they suggested that he contact me. He was into astrology. So it worked very well, me being his advisor as well as his astrologer.
Mhm.
And he did. We had a wonderful first meeting. And, he became my client. At first, he was getting readings like maybe once a week or every other week. And then he started to call me more and more.
Mhm.
And it just became, part of my life,
Yeah.
like almost every other day.
Wow.
And it was very exciting. He had a fascinating life. Certainly started out reaching stardom at a very early age, 23 years old,
Mhm.
and was able to maintain that success throughout his entire life. But that also required, somebody helping him, guiding him, advising him. And of course, we use the art of astrology
Mhm.
to help us. And it worked out very well. Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you share a memorable story from your time with him? Is there anything that really stands out of might be of interest to our viewers and to the readers out there?
Well, there's so many.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's so many. Um, the thing that I guess I'd like to mention here
Mhm.
is Van passed away at 78.
Mhm.
And I have to tell you, he was just such an incredible person in the way he handled it. He would call me and joke on the phone. Oh, I've lost all my hair. I better wear a baseball cap
Mhm.
so people aren't shocked when they come into the room
Mhm.
and say goodbye. He took it, death, as just another step of life.
Mhm.
And it was just amazing the way he went on from day to day.
Yeah.
I certainly appreciate that because I continued to offer him guidance during this period.
Mm.
But his sense of humor was such a wonderful asset in many
Mm.
ways, not only in terms of our working together, but, of course, that was throughout his life. He was
Yeah.
just very funny.
Yeah. Well, that it was a wonderful story that he had such strength, dignity, and humor at the time of
Yes.
his passing, and such resilience, and made it easier for people like you and people who were close to him when he was going to leave them, no doubt. How did he react to the intense jealousy and criticism he sometimes faced?
Well, early on, he was really shocked. After he won the gold medal and came back from Russia, his colleagues like didn't want to have anything to do with him. He
Mm.
thought they were his friends, and not only that, but some of them really gave him a hard time, and it was. Very difficult for him at first, but then he learned that, this is what happens when someone reaches a very successful place. Not everybody is going to be celebrating with you. They'll be jealous. And he also brought out an interesting line, and that is when someone is successful, you need to honor that and
Mm.
support them in their success. How else are you going to be successful in your own life?
Yeah. Amazing. He achieved fame at a young age. How did he handle all the pressures that come along with that?
And there was quite a bit. As I mentioned, he was 23 at the time.
Mhm.
And he was well bred.
Mhm.
His parents did a wonderful job of raising him and trying to explain to him about the world. So he was able to quickly piece things together, of course, with their help, and be able to understand that the world is not always a nice place.
Mhm.
And so, therefore, you have to maintain your own composure when you're dealing with people that are jealous or what have you, and hope that maybe they will find flaw in their ways, and therefore see that supporting others that have reached this pinnacle of success is how they're going to get there.
Mhm. Exactly. How did he view his own legacy in the world of classical music?
Well, he always wanted to have something to offer. It's like he never stopped. Once he won that gold medal, that was it. He was just on this trajectory to inspire people in classical music.
Mhm.
And along came the Van Cliburn Foundation,
Mhm.
and also the competition that's every 4 years in Fort Worth, Texas. And he supported that tremendously. And sometimes that took a bit of a toll on him too. But he continued to want to educate people. He felt that everyone needed to learn about classical music and that they
Mhm.
should teach it in the schools. And you can't graduate until you learn about classical music. The grants staff. Um, he was very involved throughout his entire life. It wasn't like he just went away and retired.
Mhm.
He was constantly pushing the theme of learning about classical music. He also went around and taught master classes,
Mhm.
not only here in the United States, but also in Russia. Of course,
Mhm.
that was the country that recognized him. So he had quite a strong affinity to the Russian people and admired them greatly because they were educated in classical music.
Yeah, I think we could use that education in America too. Certainly, it strengthens not only your musical ability, but your brain. That's been proven as well by listening to classical music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you,
Matt
okay.
talked about how classical music would help a student in mathematics.
Hmm.
And there's been studies that indicate that as well. So he was just adamant about really pushing for this, especially in the schools. In fact, he donated a lot of his money to the schools in Texas,
Wow,
to make sure that that would happen in the educational system.
that's
Mm.
wonderful. What do you think he would want people to remember most about him?
Well, perhaps a couple things.
Mm.
One is how hard he worked to win the gold medal. That wasn't easy. He applied himself for several hours every day of the week until that actually happened for him. But I think he also would want people to appreciate his many quotes that not only talk about the wonders of classical music and how it can benefit your life, but also quotes that get you more in touch with your spiritual side. One has to remember that Van was religious as well as spiritual. And so, therefore, he really wanted people to connect with their spiritual side. And he felt through classical music, that's, what one could do. In fact, I'm remembering a story about him playing in Las Vegas. And when he went to visit, a brawl broke out in a restaurant. And he said, "Oh no, I cannot play here. How can people get in touch with their spiritual side when this is going on?"
Wow. Amazing. That was a great story. All of your stories have been terrific. And this book is just amazing. It's a beautiful tribute to a wonderfully talented artist. The name of the book is My Private Relationship with Van Cliburn. In it, Christine takes us behind the scenes of the classical music legend's life, revealing personal struggles, triumphs, and the wisdom he shared with those closest to him. It is a deeply personal account that provides a rare glimpse into his world, his rise to fame, the jealousy and loss he faced, as well as his unshakable passion for music. Christine, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and your wisdom. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.